Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Friday. It means we're brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. I hope that work week's in the rearview mirror. If not, we'll get you to the finish line here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos, and plenty to get to over the course of 2 hours. Preston Guys here in 15 minutes. He was out there at LSU's football practice last night. We'll talk Tigers with Preston. Got a lot to talk about in terms of recruiting later on in this show. DJ Pickett's got a new number, and we'll talk about that a little bit. Some Kellen Moore discussion on Tyler Shuck and his spot in the Saints running game. So lots to get to over the course of the next 2 hours. Hope you will be with us for as much of it as you can. We start in Canton, Ohio. It's our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
I hope a lot of Saints fans take some time this weekend to pay attention to what's going on at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Drew Brees will be enshrined, deservedly so, this weekend, and that's a really, really cool thing for the Saints. He's the greatest player in the history of that organization and deserves everything that he gets this weekend. And it got me to thinking about Drew Brees' time in New Orleans. It got me to thinking about his career. And every time someone goes into the Hall of Fame, obviously, that's an extremely accomplished athlete. There's no question about that with Drew Brees. I purposely didn't even go back and look at the stats for this segment. I don't know where he ranks all time in passing yards. I think he's second. I don't know where he ranks in passing touchdowns. I don't know about games with a consecutive touchdown pass. Drew Brees is one of the 5 to 10 greatest quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League, and I don't need any statistics to back that up. I watched it. So did you. But it's more than that with Drew Brees. And it's why back last year, as Tyler Shuck was ascending to becoming the franchise quarterback in New Orleans, I did a segment on him not becoming the next Drew Brees. There is no next Drew Brees. Because Drew Brees' story in New Orleans goes beyond the football field. And that is what I think of when I think of Drew Brees. There's a very, very distinct line in my life that is very easy for me personally to separate the pre-Drew Brees and post-Drew Brees New Orleans Saints. I was a senior in high school when Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast. And up until that point in my life, the Saints had been atrocious. They had one blip on the radar with Aaron Brooks and Oz Hakeem dropping a punt, but they were awful my entire life. And then I went to college and I moved from North Louisiana to South Louisiana. In the second year I was in South Louisiana, Drew Brees became the quarterback of the Saints. And after that, for 15 years, the Saints were good, if not the best team in the NFL. I think at 3 different points, they may have been the best team in the NFL. But Katrina is that line, and it is an impossible aspect of the Drew Brees story to ignore. Because there have been dozens, hundreds of all-time football players that are enshrined in Canton. There is not one who meant more to a city at a certain point in time than Drew Brees. There's just not. I tried to go back in sports to think about, in my lifetime, a community in such desperate need of healing and bringing back together, and what sports could do for that. And I thought about 9/11 in New York City and the New York Yankees making the World Series that year. Now, they lost, but they had 2 unbelievable comeback wins off Byung-Hyun Kim with Derek Jeter homers and Scott Brosius homers. And New York was hurting at that time, and it was just over a month old. And the Yankees just, in sport, rallied that community unbelievably. Of course, the George Bush first pitch is a part of that story as well. I think about the Boston Red Sox after the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013. It was in April, and the Red Sox won the World Series that year. And remember, the Boston Red Sox came out after that happened, and instead of wearing Boston instead of Red Sox on the front of their jersey, it said Boston, and David Ortiz grabbed the mic and said, "This is our bleeping city," and rallied the city, and they went on to win the World Series. I think about Virginia Tech coming out of the tunnel after that horrible tragedy on its campus and that football stadium being united and galvanized. And sports doesn't fix tragedy, but it does help us in the aftermath, right? And so many of you that are listening to me right now were impacted by Hurricane Katrina, some far more than others. And Drew Brees did not have to sign with New Orleans Saints. And you know the story by now of the visit he took with Sean Payton, and they got lost in an area that hadn't recovered, and they weren't really supposed to be there, and they were trying to protect Drew Brees from that, and all of a sudden, that actually became what inspired Drew Brees to sign with New Orleans. And then you saw what happened in the aftermath and what that did for that city. I think a lot of people moved on from the Hurricane Katrina storyline once the news stations packed up and left. You'd seen the pictures, heard some stories, horrible flooding, awful situation, and then whatever happens next in the news cycle happens and they leave. But those of us down here in South Louisiana, we still felt it. And the Saints were a galvanizing part for a hurting city. And Drew Brees was the heartbeat of that. And the fact that he brought them to the highest heights in the National Football League to win the Super Bowl just 3 years after that is just remarkable. And it's part of the Drew Brees story. He's not just one of the greatest passers in the history of the National Football League. He's the greatest athlete in the history and the most impactful athlete in the history of Louisiana sports. That's a heavy thing, but it's true. And over the course of time, the Saints will have more Pro Bowl quarterbacks. They'll win another Super Bowl at some point. They may have another quarterback in the next 40 years going to the Hall of Fame. But it's not going to be the next Drew Brees. And there are tons of passers in the Hall of Fame who didn't have the impact on a community that Drew Brees did. And that is a really, really, really cool thing. It comes out of a horrible thing. But the story that blossoms on the other side is truly great. Y'all know I'm not a diehard Saints fan, but I did watch Drew Brees' entire career in New Orleans. I had an opportunity many times to go to the Superdome and watch him play, and it was an absolute delight to watch him surgically dice up opposing NFL defenses. That's just half the story. I think it's so cool that his tie to such a great city is that deep because of the journey those two went on right after the hurricane came through town. So for this weekend, yeah, it's about throwing for a bajillion yards, and it's about throwing for all those scores, and it's about the record books, and it's about all the wins, and it's about hoisting the Lombardi Trophy for the first time in the history of franchises, where I'm confident there are a bunch of y'all listening to me right now that thought that may never happen. And it did with him behind center. It's about all that, but it's also about New Orleans. It's about the Saints and what the Saints mean to that city, what Drew Brees meant to the Saints and therefore the city. It's a story that you would struggle to put in a Hollywood script. I think that the Saints probably should have won at least one more Super Bowl. I think if the officials blow the whistle against the Rams that day in the Dome, the Saints go on and win. I do. And I think that they had the best team on multiple occasions. But they did get there once. And it's a great reminder how hard that is and how, when it does happen, you can't take it for granted. You have to celebrate it because you never know when it's going to come around again. You never know when another Hall of Fame passer is going to come through New Orleans again, but it won't be Drew Brees. There's one Drew Brees. It's singular, and this is his weekend to be honored with the greatest in the history of the game. He's the greatest in the history of the city and the state, and this is his weekend up in Canton, Ohio. Well-deserved and such a cool moment for Saints fans. I certainly, again, as I open with, hope that Saints fans do take some time over the course of this weekend to either watch it live or make sure you catch up on the highlights, listen to the speech, listen to Sean Payton introduce him, and remember what's an awesome era it was. Hopefully, we're on the precipice of another great one. That's the hope. But you do know with certainty that you witnessed a golden age, the golden age of the black and gold, and Drew Brees was central in that. such a very, very, very cool moment for Saints fans who haven't seen a lot of Hall of Famers come through those doors. They're all up in Canton right now. Ricky Jackson's there, Morton Anderson is there, Willie Roaf is there, and Drew Brees will grab that gold jacket this weekend, and he will join them in Canton. Awesome weekend for Saints fans, and just wanted to start with that today on this Friday. It is Drew Brees' weekend. Jordan, you lived through it all. I don't think you know anything pre-Brees, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I don't.
What does it mean? I know that you can't. I can't. It's not the same because I don't live in Chicago, and my parents weren't Cubs fans. I grew into that as an 8-year-old, but I didn't have the 40 years of suffering that so many did before the Cubs won in 2016. You didn't have the Yanks, the Bagheads.
No,
you didn't
not
have
at
any
all.
of that. But you did live through a golden era. What does this weekend mean to you as Brees goes into Canton?
It means a lot just because the resilience in Drew and because he had setbacks along the way. And also mixed into those good years, there were a lot of bad years, a lot of 7 and 9
2
years.
7 and 9s back to back. They had to clean house and get it fixed.
Yeah, there's years like that into the mix. So he could have axed out. He could have did that, but no, he stayed put. But honestly, like you said, I grew up in the golden era. I was in the 3rd grade when the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We all got a day off of school. Yeah, I remember that. We all showed up. Day off school. But anyways, it's just he kind of warped my reality of what quarterback play is. So I kind of, as I've gotten older, and I've seen the Trevor Simeons and the Jameis Winston, even though Jameis had his time, but I've seen
Ian
all
Book,
these.
baby.
Yeah,
Ian Book back there.
I didn't
the day
see
Myers was born. December 27th, 2021 was Ian Book's only start. I'll remember it forever.
The Dolphins game, right?
Yes.
Yep, exactly.
I was in the hospital. Myers was born at 5 a.m. We watched. I said, buddy,
I don't know why you watched that
this
one.
is not
Yeah.
what it usually looks like, all right? I know your eyes don't work yet, but
Exactly.
this is no good.
So seeing that, and then getting to the point where now we have a Tyler Shuck, and maybe we have hope again of having a good quarterback. That's why I'm like, you know what, Drew? You have ruined my idea of football because as a kid, I'm expecting to have, we got 2 minutes left in the game. We can get down the field real quick and Drew can tie the game up or take the lead. Maybe the defense will get the score up, but it's like, I appreciate Drew Brees, but man, you lied to all these kids watching Saints football. This is what it is, and this is what it's always going to be. It's not. It has not been.
There's a lot of high schoolers in Kansas City, Missouri right now.
Oh,
that
they think Mahomes,
it's always like this. I promise it's not.
It's not.
I promise it's not. You can have Elvis Gerback back there. All right, that's just. Are you going to watch the Hall of Fame this weekend?
I'm going to watch Drew get inducted, and
Yeah.
I like Larry Fitzgerald. I'm a Larry Fitzgerald guy, but I didn't watch the Hall of Fame game. Come on, man. I like football. I don't like it that much.
Last night.
Yeah,
No idea.
I don't like football that much.
I saw enough. Hey, look, Carson Beck got me the one win I needed.
Hey,
he beat Ole
right.
Miss.
But remember I
didn't
told
win
you?
the Hall of Fame game.
Hey, remember I told you? I was like, look, Carson Beck, you knocked Ole Miss out the tournament. I will never talk bad about you a day in my life. So shout out Carson Beck, man.
Jimmy lost some money on the Hall of Fame game last night. We hate to hear. He thought he had it handicapped.
Hey, he came on today and was hot about that. I ain't gonna lie. He was hot. He was like, Musso ran me off the clock. I swear I said first quarter.
Talk about LSU's practice last night. We'll do that with Preston Guy next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is the website. Don't worry about the website. Go to the place. It's on Segan at Perkins. It's the weekend. Knock off of work today. Go play some golf indoors at Swing Easy. You can go tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. It's dark outside. Who cares? Pebble Beach is all lit up on the simulator for you. Bring some friends, have some drinks, play some tunes, watch some TV, and play golf at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. You want to work on your game this weekend but don't have enough time, don't know where to go to hit balls? You can do it at Swing Easy. 30 minutes, pop into the bay, hit some golf balls, and get about your day. It's a great place to go hang out. Segan at Perkins, Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. Online, swingeasygcbr.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Friday show is always brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Not too late to get on by for a late lunch. Want a shrimp po' boy? Not a better one in town than the one over at Corks Jumbo Gulf Shrimp. Get crispy fried catfish as well as shoestring fries, honey butter rolls. Check out that menu, corksfishandshrimp.com. Preston Guy, TigerBait.com with us on Fridays talking Tiger football. And we have finally made it through the offseason. LSU on the practice field. Saw Preston out there last night. How we doing, sir?
All right. How's it going? Hopefully, we didn't mess up our flow having to do a night practice for the first time in a long time.
My first one ever. I started going out there in 2010. I don't think I've been to a 6:30 p.m. practice, but it was nice.
Scrimmages at the nighttime sometimes.
In Tiger Stadium.
The infamous Garrett Nussmeier is missing nighttime scrimmage.
Yeah, it is what it is. How did you best maximize your 12 minutes out there?
You think it was a full 12? I don't know. It felt more like 11. I went straight to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the biggest impact on this team is how does Sam Levitt look, and he looked good. Also looked at the DBs and running backs a good bit. That's what I was kind of filming, kind of where I had the best vantage point. But I did make sure to peek over to those defensive linemen, and I saw a couple freshmen rotating in with the ones. That was an interesting find there.
Let's start with the quarterbacks. We'll get to the defense here. What's your impression of Sam Levitt out there? We all understand, everyone knows that the media's not seeing much and they don't have pads on yet, but what's your initial thought?
He looks healthy. That's definitely the biggest takeaway here. He's not trotting around gingerly. I mean, it does look a lot different from the spring drills where he was very, soft on that foot, right? However, I don't know that necessarily we've got the full look of it until he actually lines it up with 11, takes a shotgun snap, and reads the whole field, right? Now, I mean, he's throwing it accurately, right? He's got a big, not colossal, but big arm, and he's clearly very mobile and athletic. We'll see, I'm also more interested to see, how he works with the system, right? They did have them doing some kind of sideline toe dragging drills, right, where basically the receiver's about 35 yards out running full speed and trying to get these guys to fit it in right on the hash. So we got to look at some interesting throws there. But for the most part, they seemed like they were doing a pretty good job putting it right in the bucket there.
Feels like Jace Brown is working with Levitt more often than the other wide receivers. Do you read anything into that through 2 days?
I mean, he's the veteran guy. I think that Jace Brown's going to have a very gadget-type role in this offense based on what we saw in spring where they're doing, jet sweeps and outside bubble screens and stuff with him, right? I wouldn't read too much into him working with Levitt a lot. I mean, I think the receiving room is very much so, there's a lot of different type positions that are up for grabs. And I definitely think Jace Brown is someone who's locked in to be a contributor into this offense, whether he's wide receiver 1 or 2 or 3. I would not immediately start reading too much into that right now.
Do you think that Lane Kiffin, Charlie Weiss Jr., George McDonald want to narrow that down to about 4 guys, or do you think they want to play a lot of players?
Yeah, I think if I remember right, that their Ole Miss system, basically their top 5 guys are the guys who are catching the majority of the balls, right? But I think you have to account for Trey'Dez Green is effectively going to be one of those guys. I mean, he will be lining up wide. They're not just going to use him purely, lining up 1 foot to the right of the tackle, all season, right? He will be doing some wide out stuff. So effectively, yeah, they're probably looking to identify their 4 true wide receivers, plus another guy that gets used in a gadget type role. That's what I was just mentioning with Jace Brown, where they do like to use receivers who can do things outside to basically kind of help supplement the run game. You know what I mean? Little, dink and dunk, easy yardage type things that remain unpredictable, but you can still rely on for consistent short yardage. Basically, kind of in short yardage situations, forces the defense to spread out instead of stacking the box, right? So if Jace Brown is that guy, then there's a good chance that he's both. He's your gadget guy, and he's in your top 4 in the lineup there.
Rustin Guys, our guest, he's with TigerBait.com. Let's switch over to the defense. You missed in a pair of freshman defensive tackles. What say you?
Yeah, that's interesting. Richard Anderson and Deuce Gerald taking some 1 reps yesterday. We'll see if that holds up. And look, of positions where you rotate players, that is the rotatable position, right? The defensive line, right? So I would be a little surprised to see 2 true freshman defensive tackles rolling out there, particularly this is a position that's not dominated by young players. Typically, it's a position where it's a lot of weight room that goes into it, right? And there's just no faking the ability to squat 650 pounds. Like, you just need time to build your body up. And there's just not, no matter how highly recruited you are, no matter what your frame is, there's just not a lot of 18-year-old kids who can come in and do that. Just point, flat out blank, right? So to see that from 2 true freshmen beat out, especially they have veteran bodies. Dominic McKinley, they've got Bylan Green, Malik Blockton. That would be surprising to me. However, that's what's trending out there. That's what we're seeing. And regardless of if they're first or second on the field, I think that we're going to see a combination of both veteran and freshman guys having a huge impact on this defensive line this year.
What about the Jace Thomas situation at safety? Tamarcus Cooley running with the 2s in those pursuit drills.
I'm not gonna, look too much into that. Obviously, Jace Thomas, an impressive kid, but I mean, Tamarcus Cooley, we saw what he did a year ago. I'm gonna wait and see. Let's see how when they do 11 versus 11, if we get a good look at those scrimmages like that, how that pans out. I'm not gonna freak out too much on that right now.
Rustin Guys, our guest, he's at TigerBait.com. You're hanging out with my guy Chris Marler these days. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, I'm happy he was able to fill in. We had to get a new co-host this year due to some contractual obligations. Chris Marler and I did our first show of the season Monday night at 8 p.m., and he'll be there every Monday night at 8 p.m. now through the end of January. So y'all make sure to come check us out on the Tiger Bait YouTube channel. It was a good time. Really like what Chris brings to the show. Real fun, entertaining, smooth talker. So y'all make sure to come check us out.
Give me one thing that you're looking for over the next week or so in limited time that we get to go check it out.
Oh, man, limited time. Well, definitely looking forward to getting back out to practice Saturday. More looks at the team. I'm hoping Saturday will give us a deeper look, but it looks like sessions 2 through 4 again. I'm also working on a column right now about the breakdown of Louisiana talent on this team. Hunt, looking at it, 37.5% of this roster is from the state of Louisiana. That's actually the lowest that this team has ever had this century by 11%, meaning the next lowest was about 48%. So I'm doing a deep data dive to see what the correlation is between having Louisiana talent and winning. And it exists. There definitely is a correlation between bringing Louisiana players on the roster and winning football games at LSU.
We shall see. We'll be looking forward. Preston, have a great weekend. We'll see you out there at practice.
Talk to you soon.
Preston Guy, TigerBait.com with us on Fridays. Gotros Outdoor Power. Gotros Outdoor Power. Awesome deals over there at Gotros Outdoor Power all August long. Be sure to go check it out. 2 locations, one on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge and, of course, one in Gonzales. I was telling y'all earlier, spoke with my guy, Gant Gotro, and they're thrilled with their August sales. It's a summer clearance sale, up to $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero-turn mowers, and 0% financing available as well. Again, $1,000 off select Gravely, Skag, and Hustler zero-turn mowers, and 0% financing available as well. National Hustler Dealer of the Year 2 of the last 3 years. In business for 22 years, largest Hustler inventory in the state of Louisiana. So if you need a zero-turn mower, you look no further than Gotros Outdoor Power online at GotrosOnline.com. That's GotrosOnline.com. I think that's interesting that Preston was talking about. It's something that we mentioned in the summer about Louisiana guys. Because when you look at this team, like I'll just run through the lineup right now that we think is going to be on the offense. Jordan Seaton, not from Louisiana. Bo Bordelon is. That's one. But no, you're not looking at Braylon Moore from Louisiana. Alu Ba's not from Louisiana. Weston Davidson from Louisiana. Sam Levitt's not from Louisiana. Caden Durham's not from Louisiana. Now, Harlan Berry is, but Trey Green is. In the wide receiver core, unless you use Phillip Wright, like you're not from Louisiana. That's like 3 guys. 3 guys on offense. Defensively, you run through like not Prince Will, not Deuce Gerald's, like Richard Anderson is, and Dominic McKinley is, but not Jordan Ross, not Whit Weeks, not Devon Keys, not TJ Dottery, not Ty Benefield, not TaMarcus Cooley, not DJ Pickett. Look out on the other corner, not PJ Woodland, like Deshaun Spears. So like 6 impact guys, 6 or 7. Like that's the new world. And we made a big deal out of Lane Kiffin coming here because he could get the Louisiana high school kids. And the question is, how much are you going to use them? Now, this is a different year than most years because your roster got gutted. Like you just lost everybody off this roster because you had a coaching change. So you had to go to the portal and get 40 kids. We can't take 40 Louisiana high schoolers. Like that's not a thing you can do. You can take 9. You can take 11 is kind of what you want. You can't take 40. So this is a little bit different. And I do think that there is something to Louisiana kids perhaps sticking around a little bit longer. Sure, there are going to be Lance Hurds that jump in and jump out. There are going to be guys that come in for a couple of years like Caleb Jackson and move on. But the question becomes, like, how much is Lane Kiffin going to lean on Louisiana high schoolers? And it remains to be seen. I do think you've got a great chance to get really high-profile players from Louisiana to come to LSU. I think you got a chance to get Easton Royal this year. And you need, as I've said many, many times, you need Will Campbell. You need Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. Like, you need those guys. You need Derek Stingley here for 3 years. Y'all know the names, and LSU's had them forever and ever and ever, but it's now so easy to go outside the state to go get guys who will come here for, yes, the brand, yes, the history, yes, the coaching staff, yes, the stadium, yes, facilities, yes, all that, but also the money that you have. It's fascinating because forever and ever, we've said LSU has got to be run through the state of Louisiana. Well, that is not the case in men's basketball under any circumstance. Jay Johnson is probably not going to have a Louisiana-born starting player next year on his position group. Probably not. Like Aaron Beatty's not, Cerna's not, Braun's not, Go Across, Dawson Park's not, Milam's not. You're not going to, Cade Curlin's not. You got Laya. You got, you don't have a Louisiana guy in your lineup unless John Pearson cracks in there. William Schmidt's from Louisiana, but Kason Evans isn't. Neither is Cooper Moore. Neither is, you get the point. Like, This is a national search based on salary cap retention as opposed to making sure you get your Louisiana guys in. And look, the team he won with in 2023, first year of the transfer portal basically, had Cade Beloso and Gavin Dugas on the team. Cade Anderson was huge a couple of years ago, no question. Jake Brown, got to have him. But you don't lean on it as much, and Lane Kiffin might not. We'll see. It's something I'll be absolutely monitoring. I think it's fascinating. So we'll keep that moving in the right direction. All right, I want to talk about something I saw last night at football practice, and it's a concern of mine. We'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, online at FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Go check them out. Incredible deals on trucks all month long. It's early in the month, but just get by early in the month and maximize these fantastic deals. Talking about 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s, 0% APR financing for 5 years plus no monthly payments for 90 days. 3 months, no payments on 2026 Chevy Silverados. Plus, on the GMC side with Sierra 1500s, 2.9 APR for 72 months, plus an additional $1,500 in allowance. That's now until August 31st. So if you want a new truck, that's the stop. Go to the website, FabryChevrolet.com, and check out what they've got, but also go by and see them. Experience that wonderful customer service that you get when you deal with the Fabry family. If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, they've got pre-owned vehicles that will fit any budget. Highway 61 in St. Francisville, online at FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
The Highland Insurance Group brings you the Hunt Palmer Show every single day. HighlandIG.com is the website. Jonathan Carbo and his team, they're just first class when it comes to the insurance game. I've enjoyed my conversations with Jonathan and his team on the property and casualty side. They're great, and they'll make sure that your policy and your insurance program is worded properly, is put together properly. I think a lot of business owners still just make sure that bottom line makes sense, and that's the page they emphasize the most, which makes sense. That is the dollars and cents attached to it. And not every business owner is familiar with the entirety of the insurance program, but the Howard Insurance Group will make sure that for that good money you're spending commercially for your insurance, that you've got the right coverages. And in South Louisiana, a lot of times that means the right property coverage. In hurricane season, do you have the right building valuation? Do you have the proper deductible for your risk appetite? Do you think you might incur some co-insurance penalties because you're improperly insured? Is your business interruption limit correct if you can't work because a storm blows through and damages your building so it can't be occupied? All these are important questions, and the last thing you want to do is spend money up front for a premium and then on the back end not be covered because you cut some corners to save money on the front end. That's what the Howland Insurance Group will prevent. They'll come in and make sure your program is in good shape. Jonathan Carbo and the Howland Insurance Group, they're online at HighlandIG.com. All right, out at LSU football practice yesterday, and y'all know, but I feel like I have to do the precursor every single time. They're not in pads, and we're watching 12 minutes. So I am not here to tell you about their ability to win the national championship or they're going 6-6. Like, that's not what we're here to do at this point in the calendar, right? But I am paying attention. I am covering the team, and I am taking notes and determining what I want to talk about, what I want to write about. And yesterday when we went out there, the defense did a pursuit drill to get loose. You get into your defensive set. They snap the ball. Everybody drops to their belly, pops up, and runs. It's just to get the blood moving. There's not any technical aspect to it whatsoever. So this is not to suggest that they are putting their best foot forward, their Clemson foot forward with the lineup every time through. I told you I wasn't going to overreact to TaMarcus Cooley running with the twos, not going to overreact to Dominic McKinley working with the threes. I'm not going to do that on the third day of August when you're out there doing a warm-up drill. But when they go out there, the first unit does have Whit Weeks. It does have TJ Daugherty. It does have Ty Benefield. It does have DJ Pickett. It does have PJ Woodland. It has Prince William. In the first unit, there are a lot of guys out there that I fully expect to start the game against Clemson and to be huge factors on this defense. That is a fact. And I look at the defensive tackles. In the first day, it was Deuce Geralds and Malik Blockton. You got the freshman from Georgia, and you got the transfer from Auburn. And when we went out there in the spring, Blockton, McKinley, Green, Geralds, they all kind of took reps with the ones over time. And we saw more reps in the spring than we are in the fall. But last night we went out there, and Deuce Geralds and Richard Anderson were the first group. They were with Uman and Ross and Weeks and Daugherty and Pickett and Cooley and Spears. Not Cooley, sorry, and Spears and Benefield and Jace Thomas. They were out there first. And while the optimist would look at that and say, they hit on these freshmen defensive linemen, y'all. They're already pushing to the front of the line. They were 5-star recruits. They were Under Armour All-Americans. They were top 100 players. They were top 30 players. They made their mark in the spring. These guys are going to be awesome. That's what the optimist would say. The pessimist would go, you're putting 2 freshmen out there at defensive tackle? You sure about that? What about the older guys? Blockton's a third-year player. Green's a fourth-year player. McKinley's a third-year player. What about those guys? And then there's me, and here's my reaction to it. I think that should Deuce Geralds, Richard Anderson, Lamar Brown become what we think they're going to become, that will be a foundation for a dominant LSU defense that looks like the guys in 03 with Lavallee and Williams, and looks like the guys in 07 with Dorsey. Looks like the guy in 11 with Brockers and Logan. There's NFL guys on the interior that can wreck games, stop the run, affect the passer, and become problems in the middle of an offensive line to collapse an offense. Those guys could be the foundation of that moving forward. I say that, and at the same time, I go, I don't want 2 freshmen starting at defensive tackle. I'm sorry. I know that freshmen are more prepared than ever to play now because of what we know about nutrition, what we know about weight training. High schoolers take that very seriously. They enroll in college 6 months, 7 months before they used to. They're now here at the first of the year instead of showing up in July. They're more ready than they've ever been. I don't want freshmen, 2 of them, on the defensive interior. And it tells me that those guys, McKinley, Blockton, Green, it tells me they are not at the level of Whit Weeks and TJ Daugherty and DJ Pickett and PJ Woodland and Ty Benefield. They're not, because they're not out there every single day with the ones like those guys are. Again, this is a pursuit drill to warm up. I am not trying to sound a 4-alarm disaster. I'm not. But I'm paying attention and I'm going, I know McKinley hasn't done a lot at LSU. I know that Malik Blockton was like, okay, nice player at Auburn. I know that Fallon Green was like, okay, a nice player at Clemson. And maybe those guys are good players and these 2 freshmen are just sensations. Maybe that's true. That will be awesome. If those 2 guys blow up Clemson's offensive line for 3 quarters at the end of the month, that'll be literally what I write about in the postgame column. It'll be the first thing I talk about on Monday's show. If these guys look like game changers as freshmen that just completely buck the trend of guys having to mature into playing in the trenches in the Southeastern Conference, awesome. I am all for that. But I'm going to tell you right now that I have some concerns that they're putting 2 freshmen out there with the group that includes all those solidified starters. That to me doesn't say, damn, look at these 5 stars. It says, these older guys are not taking the bull by the horns. That's just the way it makes me feel initially. That doesn't make me right. I'm telling you what I feel. I've seen freshmen go out there and play in the SEC. Christian Lockature had to do it. He had to go out there and play. They were light on numbers. He gave it everything he had. Was he an all-conference player? No. But you just don't see a lot of true freshmen out there bashing into 330-pound, 23-year-old guards and having consistent success. Now, I'll tell you this. Deuce Gerald's is lightning quick and plays with great leverage and fundamentals. His dad's a football lifer. He grew up in a football household. He's got a great pedigree. And Richard Anderson, if you go out there to practice, if you just go out there, you would not know he was a freshman based on looking at him. He is a house of a human. He's enormous. He's tall. He's wide. He's huge. And he might be the strongest defensive lineman LSU's got on the team. And that doesn't, discriminate based on age. It's not 18, 19, 23, whatever. It just, there are so many things out there that I'm optimistic about. When I see 2 freshmen running with the perceived first team at defensive tackle, I go, all right. Will Campbell did it. Will Campbell just played left tackle as a freshman, and he played pretty damn well in 2022. He did a pretty good job. Wasn't great. He wasn't what he was as a sophomore and junior. He did a pretty good job. It can be done, and these guys are high-level recruits. I'm just telling you, is that with that as the DNA, it is by far my biggest question mark on this LSU defense. I think your corners are exceptional. I think Benefield's going to be an All-American. I think Weeks is great. I think Daugherty's going to make a lot of tackles. I'm good with Keys. I think Deshaun Spears grows into a great role this year and is going to be an NFL player. Uman Mielen is going to be a 9-10 sack guy. Jordan Ross, we'll see. He's a great talent. I feel really good about so much of the defense, including Blake Baker. 2 freshmen at defensive tackle, I have a hard time convincing myself to be optimistic about that. We'll see if it's the case. And we'll see if they continue as we go out there, because we'll see those guys run that drill more often than not. And if we go out there tomorrow morning and Dom McKinley and Fallon Green are the first 2 guys, I'll go, okay, they're just running guys in and out. It's fine. But I'm covering the team day to day here. I'm reacting to the practice I see. I'm not overreacting. I told you that we know what the calendar is, and I know what this drill is. They're getting loose. But my antenna are up on 2 freshmen playing the defensive tackle spot. We'll see. When we come back, the Saints have made a local edition. Got some LSU and New Orleans ties. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
It's back to school time, and our friends at Auctioner want to remind you about a number of things. Look, Ochsner Health Centers that offer primary care and pediatric services in the same location. So that makes it easier for families to coordinate care for everybody in the household. If you're looking for same-day appointments, they're available at a lot of locations and can help families address unexpected health concerns quickly as kids return to school. We know that can lead to some sicknesses as well. And look, they're out there playing in recess. It can lead to some injuries too. Ochsner's got availability for you. They've got extended afternoon hours after school, as well as weekend appointment options at select locations that can give you some flexibility for busy families that are balancing school, work, extracurricular activities, all of that. Of course, football is one of those. Convenient access to primary and pediatric care can help families stay on top of annual wellness visits. So if you want more tips in helping your family start the school year healthy, safe, and ready to succeed, got one place to go. That's Ochsner.org/BR. That's Ochsner.org/BR.
Every Raising Cane's chicken finger is marinated, battered by hand, and cooked to order to perfection. We don't have heat lamps, because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
Who bears the standard?
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Wrapping up hour number one here. Friday show is brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Got a catering event coming up. Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Think about them, those high school football games that are coming up. If you want to feed a tailgate for those high school football games, they can help you out with that. Big craze of crispy fried catfish, jumbo Gulf shrimp. Get the hush puppies, honey butter rolled. They got you all covered there at Corks between Foster and Jefferson on Government Street. It's Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. The Saints made a move today, reading up on Adam Schefter's Twitter. Who Dats are bringing one home. Deion Jones, former Jesuit Blue Jay, LSU Tiger, is signing with his fourth NFC South team. Of course, Falcons selected Deion Jones back in the 2016 draft, and he burst onto the scene in Atlanta. He was third in the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, had a couple of interceptions as a rookie, and made 108 tackles. And the next year, 138 tackles for Atlanta, made the Pro Bowl as a second-year player in 2017, and he has been in the league for 10 years now. What a story for this guy. If you're an LSU fan, you are well aware that he was basically the last player into his signing class from Jesuit. It's one of those deals. It was very much like Justin Jefferson, very much like Duke Riley. These guys who were kind of under-recruited, kind of undervalued. LSU was making sure they didn't go over the 25 limit, and once they realized up until signing day that they had an extra spot or two, they took some Louisiana guys who were a little bit under the radar. And they were hitting at an unbelievable rate on those guys. Russell Gage is another one who came from Redemptorist. But Deion Jones was one of those from Jesuit. And he came into LSU, and he waited his time and then became just an incredible linebacker, great speed, and really, really productive, and played his way into an NFL draft pick with the Falcons. He was the 200. Oh, that's a typo over there on Pro Football Reference. But he was the draft pick of the Falcons and became a really good player. He played in Atlanta for 6 years with the Atlanta Falcons, incredibly durable over that time. Then he signed with Cleveland, played there for a year. Then he signed with Carolina as a 29-year-old in 2023, played 13 games for the Panthers. In the last 2 years, he has spent with Tampa. In 2024, he missed almost the entire season, only played 2 games. But last year in Tampa, as a depth piece, a rotational piece, he played 17 games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So every game, made 29 tackles on the year, had 13 assists and 16 solo tackles for a total of 29. He's 32 years old, been in the league for 10 years. And this doesn't appear to me to be a signing to plug and play as an every down starter. Obviously, the Saints have Pete Werner. They've got Caden Ellis. And there are some other guys. Danny Stutzman, they want to get in. Isaiah Stallberg's had some good Augusts in his time and some good preseason performances in his time. He's played a little bit in the regular season. But to bring in a 10-year vet at a position where you lose Demario Davis and you may want to bring some young guys along, having Deion Jones come back home is a good thing. You know, the Saints have kind of made a little bit of a habit of this. They obviously did so with Jarvis Landry, bringing him home for the end of his career. They did so with Tyrann Mathieu, brought him home for the end of his career. And this will very likely be the end of Deion Jones' career as well. Perhaps he helps a little bit on special teams. Perhaps he helps a little bit on defense. Perhaps he doesn't make the team. But you bring in Deion Jones at a spot where you don't have abundant depth. You have enough. It's not like a concern. But this is a low-cost signing, a low-risk signing, a vet who probably wants to be home. And you bring it full circle with the Falcons for 6 years, with Carolina for 1, Tampa for 2. Just make the whole trip around the NFC South, ending at home in New Orleans. So again, played 17 games last year for Tampa, but wasn't a huge contributor. They bring him in now to play with New Orleans, and I would anticipate that he adds some depth and a veteran leader at a group that needs a little bit of veteran leadership. Werner has been around a little bit, and obviously you've seen Caden Ellis been around the block or time or two. But if he can help with Danny Stutzman's development, I love that opportunity for Deion Jones as well, and love the opportunity for him to come home. A Jesuit Blue Jay and LSU Tiger, now a New Orleans Saint. Deion Jones signs on as a 32-year linebacker for the Black and Gold. Jordan, what do we think about that?
Well, as a Holy Cross man, I'm going to tread a little lightly on a Jesuit Blue Jay, but, I'm going to, shout out a guy from New Orleans. So it's good to see, getting that type of farewell ending, fairy tale ending, full circle at your at your hometown. So I appreciate that, what Mickey's doing, but it's kind of weird though. It's kind of weird. My antennas are up. I know he's a, depth piece, but a linebacker, I don't really think was that thin at linebacker, or, the Saints were looking for a new linebacker. So maybe something we don't know about, something, it plays
hope
out.
It's not an injury. Nobody talked about an injury yesterday, and I haven't heard a lot of that. So you hope it's not. But again, this is very low risk. If it's just a depth piece to add on,
yeah, and he's from the city,
and maybe he took a discount to come to New Orleans, and it was even more cheap. So you don't know. But this is not one. Here's my point in August, because your point is well made. That I hope nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
My point is, until they tell me something's wrong, I'm just gonna go, it's all good. And I just think that they're adding a veteran in who's, guys played 128 games in the NFL, made 91 starts.
Yeah, 10
bring
years.
Him in, bring him in to help with development. Bring him in as a camp body, and if you do have an injury, you've got somebody in there that
knows
how to play the game. I'm good with it.
Yeah, especially just because he's from New Orleans. I like that part about it. Let him end this story in his city.
Love that. LSU Tiger turned New Orleans Saint. All right, our Friday show is again brought to you by Corks. A lot to get to there in hour number one. Opened the show talking about Drew Brees. He'll be enshrined in Canton over the weekend. Saw some videos surfacing from Jeff Duncan, who's up there in Canton as Brees was doing the VIP walk, and he'll have his day, and it'll be a great day for New Orleans Saints fans. Check that out. I gave my thoughts on that at the top of the show. You can find all our Saints coverage at Hunt on Saints. Preston Guy was with us at 1:15 talking Tiger football. He was out at practice yesterday. He'll be out there again tomorrow, so if you want to catch that, you can at Hunt on LSU on YouTube, wherever you find your podcasts. It's football season now. If you feel like you want to get that football fix and you want to limit it to that, you don't want to scroll through all the shows to see when I'm talking about things, just go to our Hunts, our Saints-specific channel, our LSU-specific channel, and take them in digestible segments there. Also, gave you my thoughts on LSU starting a pair of potentially freshman defensive tackles. That was at 1:30 on the show today. Lots to get to in hour two. Kellen Moore talks Saints quarterback run game, Drew Brees, some quotes, and some more LSU talk after Sports Center. Come back with us. It's a Friday.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com. That's FABT.com. We talked about Deion Jones being from New Orleans and coming back home. Talked about Tyrann Mathieu from New Orleans coming back home. We talked about Drew Brees doing what he did for South Louisiana. First American Bank and Trust has been here for all that. Southeast Louisiana, true and true. 116 years in our part of the state. So no matter where you are, down the bayou, St. John, Lafourche, maybe up I-12, St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, if you're just outside Baton Rouge, if you're in Metairie, no matter where you are, there's a First American Bank and Trust near you. It's a community bank. It's got that community feel. When you pick up the phone and call First American Bank and Trust, you get someone in Southeast Louisiana. When you apply for a commercial loan or a personal loan, that decision is made in Southeast Louisiana. It's not in San Francisco. It's not in Chicago or Atlanta. It's right here. That's the community feel. But they have 25 locations, which means they've got the resources to help you. If you need a commercial loan, First American Bank and Trust. Check them out online. It's FABT.com, FABT.com.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbill.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Benkin. Training camp continues in the NFL after last night's preseason opener. The other 30 teams open their preseason next week, and Patrick Mahomes likely to be a spectator. Andy Reid indicated today Mahomes will not play during the preseason. Meanwhile, Stephon Diggs is eager to settle in with his new team.
I mean, I've been around the game for a long time. I've been productive. You know, I kind of know my way around the field a little bit. So I come with like a little bit of experience, I would say. And then leadership, I know everybody's led differently. I'm new here, so just trying to earn my keep and earn the respect of my teammates, earn the respect of my coaches. Most importantly right now, learn the playbook. I'm a little late in the game, but I'm handling it the right way, be a professional, and I'm just excited to be at work.
Diggs was signed by the Commanders earlier this week. The agent for Bills guard O'Cyrus Torrence told ESPN's Adam Schefter and the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport that the Bills have given Torrence a 4-year contract extension worth $78.4 million, with $46 million of the extension guaranteed.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Final hour of the week for us here on the Hunt Palmer Show. I hope that work week is in the rearview mirror. If not, we will get you to the finish line. Drew Brees going to the Hall of Fame. We'll hear from him a little bit later on in the hour. Still some LSU football talk to go as well. And DJ Pickett's got a new number. We'll talk about that moving forward. I want to stick with the Saints here to start off hour number 1, because one of the massive keys to this 2026 season for New Orleans is the ground game. Now, look, I know last year is a flawed sample because you had 2 different quarterbacks who were learning a new system. Your wide receiver core was shot. Your offensive line was banged up, battered. You were grabbing guys off the street. Kamara got hurt. Like, there were so many factors that went into the Saints' ground game being atrocious last year. Like, a lot. But the stats are the stats. And in terms of rushing yardage total, the Saints were 28th in the NFL. In terms of yards per carry, they were 31st. There was only one team in the NFL worse than the Saints last year running the football. That's the Raiders. They picked first in the draft. In terms of rushing touchdowns, the Saints were 29th. In terms of 20-plus yard runs, so being explosive on the ground, the Saints were 29th. You were 28th or worse in yards per carry, rushing touchdowns, and explosive runs. Awful. So you've got to get significantly better at that. So what do? Well, your tackles are a year older. Your center's healthy. You signed the best free agent guard on the market. Kamara's healthy. You signed a multi-time 1,000-yard rusher in Travis Etienne. And you should have a better passing game with second year of Tyler Shuck. Olave's healthy. You draft Jordan Tyson. You know the drill out there. Vele's back. Okay. They should be able to run the ball better. Kellen Moore's offenses have run the ball. Dallas could run the ball. Philly could run the hell out of the ball. And the Saints need to be able to run the ball. And that starts with Travis Etienne. We're well aware of that. It starts up front with the offensive line. But there are other things you can do to create running. For example, the top 2 running teams in the NFL last year in terms of yards per carry were the Bills and Ravens. Now, Lamar got hurt, but there's mobile quarterbacks at play there. Allen can absolutely run. And so that helps running the football. And the Saints have an athletic quarterback. The question is how much you want to use him. Because y'all know the track record in college, he was hurt a lot. And if he gets hurt, you're in big trouble. But he's a weapon, so you've got to weigh that. The Bills run Josh Allen. He makes plays. He takes some hits when he needs to take hits. But he's big and strong and physical, and he doesn't have a history of injuries, and it's been great. The question is, how much do you want to do that if you're New Orleans? Kellen Moore was asked yesterday, y'all worked on some quarterback run? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, there were some read plays in that practice. Again, every organization system is going to be different. Probably like, Philly, it's probably an everyday thing. It's probably a by situation for us. And so it was good work for us, just to get that introduced. Also for our defense, and definitely they're going to see it from various QBs. All of our guys have the ability to do it, and when we need it. And so I think as we watched it last year, we probably ran a few times here and there when we had to. I can think of the rain game in Tampa where we kind of had to just because of the elements. And so Tyler and those guys have that ability, and so it's good.
He mentioned that rain game in Tampa, and that was Tyler Shuck's best rushing performance because it had to be. He had 7 carries in that game for 55 yards and a pair of scores, including the one down the left side that ultimately pushed New Orleans over the top in that game. They win it 24-20. But there was a stretch there in the middle of the season where Shuck did run a lot. He ran 6 times at Miami, 7 times against Tampa. He ran it 8 times against Carolina at home for 32 yards. Against the Jets, not as much. Only 2 runs, but then at Tennessee, had 4 more carries, and then ran for 34 yards and a big touchdown at Atlanta when they needed to use his feet, and that, of course, is indoors at Atlanta. But we saw flashes of Tyler Shuck using his legs over the course of the season. For the year, 45 attempts, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. And he didn't play in earnest until that game at the Rams in Week 9. So you figure with another half season tacked onto that, if I just double it, you're talking about 90 carries for about 400 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's probably a little bit more than they want to do it. But to Kellen Moore's point, there's going to be a time and place. There's going to be a time and place. And I talked about this with LSU yesterday, actually. But if your backs are gashing them, hand it off. Those guys are on the payroll to bash linebackers and get 5 yards a pop. You're in the red zone. You're running the football. You're getting a push up front. Run behind Edwards and Banks. Go get them. Awesome. But there's going to be some days where that's not there. You're losing at the point of attack at times. You got Jalen Carter problems with Cesar Ruiz. That happens some days. And then you add a number to it. You run the read option like they were working on yesterday, and you let Shuck use it on a specific play. On a 3rd and 2, he needs to tuck it and get 6. Awesome. On a 3rd and goal play, you want to get him on the edge, give him an option to take it or to dump it into the flat to a tight end. Great, but you use his mobility, and they're going to do that. The question I have is how much? Because he is right now the hope of the franchise. And what you can't have is Robert Griffin III. What you can't have is the beating that Cam Newton took. You can't do that. But you got to use it. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting to watch as this season unfolds to see how much Tyler Shuck is used. I mean, he's 6'5", 220. He's not small. And he's got some wheels. You just need to be very, very diligent in coaching him to get on the ground. You don't have to be the toughest guy. If you want to Elway helicopter it in the Super Bowl, okay, we'll do that. But week 4, let's get on the deck. Week 4, let's step out of bounds and use what you got because he is an athletic guy, and you're not going to have that forever. He's going to be 27 this year, and when he's 34, if he's still the quarterback of the Saints, maybe not as much. But right now, for these next 3 years, it's going to be a part of what the Saints do, and it's an advantage of why you drafted the guy. So that's going to be an interesting aspect of Kellen Moore's offense. This is not Jalen Hurts, but it is Dak Prescott. It's not Justin Herbert, but it is Dak Prescott. And he mentioned it. In Philly, it's an everyday drill we run because they're going to run that all the time. this is more of a Dak Prescott thing. Now, Dak is older now and doesn't have the wheels he once did, but Dak could run. I vividly remember sitting in Tiger Stadium on the west side watching him bust it for 50-plus for a touchdown from Mississippi State. Chuck can do that at times, which we saw in Tampa. We saw in Atlanta. So that's going to be a key aspect of what the Saints do, but you've got to do it the right way. And I'm confident that the Saints, it just sounds like in that interview, we're going to work on it. It's in the toolbox. It's game to game. We're not going to depend on that every single week out because that's the way you get your quarterback hurt. And I think Washington can take some notes on that. They ruined one quarterback in RG3 and wasn't great for Jaden last year either. So we'll see. Chuck going to run the football. Looking for our Saints content. You can find it at Hunt on Saints. Ross Jackson has got you covered on LouisianaSports.net. The most detailed practice reports you're ever going to see. Ross has LouisianaSports.net. He's got the news up of the Deion Jones signing right now. And he's also got a nice story up that he talked to Brandon Staley about number of players on defense, specifically Anthony Jennings. So go check that out for free at LouisianaSports.net. We're chugging along here on a Friday, brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish, and Shrimp. DJ Pickett's got a new number. What do I think about that, considering it hadn't been worn in a couple years? I'll tell you next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux'Electrical.com. Boudreaux'Electrical.com. Neil and Melissa have been running the show at Boudreaux's for 40 years. If you need that Generac home standby generator installed at your home or at your business, if you own the property and you need the lights on when those thunderstorms roll through, well, Boudreaux's Electrical Services is happy to come out and install 1 or 2 generators, whatever you need, to make sure your building is powered. And they're local, so they're here all the time. If you've got a mechanical issue, they can send a local team out to manage it. If you've got a question, you call a local number and get someone on the phone like Neil and Melissa that can answer your questions. You're not buying from the big box store. You don't know who to contact. Now you're on a call list or you're just a line item. Nope. Local company with that Generac home standby generator. Give yourself the peace of mind to know the power's not going out at your home or your place of work. It's Boudreaux's Electrical Services. You can find them at 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562 or 225-300-9389. That's Boudreaux's Electrical Services.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product's always customer satisfaction. Come visit us at reliefwindows.com. By the way, we do shutters too.
People think it's all about game day. Let's go! But the real work happens in the off season.
Spring practices, early lifts,
Extra reps. And we need a healthcare team that works as hard as we do.
At FMOL Health, our lay of the lake, we take care of LSU football year-round.
so we can do what we do best.
We trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
People ask why I chose to partner with Parrish. The answer is simple: trust. Whether you're choosing teammates, business partners, or the people working on your home or business, choose a company you know and trust. Visit parrishbuilt.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. If there's a crack in your tub, if there's a crack in your shower, don't just leave it alone. Don't just leave it alone. All of a sudden, a week goes by, 3 weeks go by, 6 months go by, and you don't know what's going on beyond that crack. If there's water involved, you could have water leaking into your floors, into your walls, into the ceilings down below if you've got a second floor. And all of a sudden, what's that going to lead to? Rot, mold, worse. It can get really expensive really, really quick. So if you see an imperfection, a scratch or a hole or a crack in your tub, in your shower, contact One Bath and Closets. Let David come out and look at it. He showed me some pictures of some stuff you want no part of in your house. And it comes from these small little cracks that water eventually gets into. Water's got to go somewhere. That's a problem. So don't just let a crack in the shower, a crack in the tub sit there for months at a time. Contact David Duvall at One Bath and Closets and say, hey, can you come out and look at this? And he'll do it. If you need some repair work done or you need to make some significant changes, David can make that happen for you. He's there for renovations, remodels, and, of course, those issues that you don't want any part of that can lead to a new bathroom. It's One Bath and Closets. Find them online at onebathandclosets.com. All right, news of the week, small news, with DJ Pickett's number. We go out there to practice on Wednesday, first day of fall camp, and DJ Pickett is in number 5. No one has worn number 5 since 2023. That was when Jaden Daniels wore it at LSU and won a Heisman Trophy. And no one's worn number 9 at LSU since 2019 when Joe Burrow wore it for a Heisman Trophy. It was essentially like they had taken those two numbers, put them off to the side, and go, yeah, nobody's going to wear those. But DJ Pickett's in 5. And Lane Kiffin was asked about that this week, and he said, look, it was promised to the kid in recruiting, and the promise was made. Like, it wasn't my decision to make. I did some research on it and said, all right, if he's promised it, he can wear it. And so y'all know me. I am traditionalist to my core. My stomach flips on itself when LSU comes out of those tunnels in ridiculous all-white uniforms or glowing helmets or whatever Nike throws on them that I think just looks reprehensible out there. I hate it. I don't like when the students have to turn every single chant into a vulgar chant. Like, I like some traditional things. And so you would imagine that this would just shake me to my core, that they're giving this sophomore cornerback the Heisman Trophy winner's number. Hey, that's supposed to be reserved. I don't feel that way. Why? Well, what I know is that Joe Burrow is going to have his number 9 retired one day. He's the greatest player in the history of the program. He led the greatest team in the history of college football. He's a national champion, a Heisman Trophy winner. That number 9 is going up there with Cannon and Stovall and Casanova and Alexander and Jones. Burrow's going up there. And Jaden Daniels' number's going up there too. They may wait until those guys finish their NFL careers. I don't know what the timeline is, whatever. 9 and 5 are going up there. And there's a chance that 9 and 5 become like 20 where nobody wears it. Keep in mind, Burt Jones' 7 is going to be retired coming up this year, and somebody will be wearing 7. Charles Alexander's 4 got retired last year in September against Florida. Mansour Delane was out there wearing 4. People still wear 21. Michael Turner will be out there wearing it. I know that was Jerry Stovall's number. They still wear it. 37 gets worn. I'm going through names in my head. Like Carnell Hatcher's the only one that pops out to me that wore it. That was in 2007. So, but people still wear those numbers. 20 is the only one they don't wear. And 9 and 5 may get that treatment one day. But they haven't as of today. So I'm completely fine with DJ Pickett getting 5. Here's the deal. When they retire Burt Jones as number 7, nobody's going to go, didn't Ollie Highsmith wear that? Like, that's kind of, no one's going to say that. When 4 got retired last year, nobody went, well, Nick Brissett, he wore 4. Like, Jai Eugene had that number. Like, no, it's not. It's a celebration of the career of that player, and no one thinks about, well, they let that guy wear it. So when Jaden Daniels has his day, whenever that comes, maybe it's next year, maybe it's when he finishes his NFL career in 12 years. When he comes back and 5 goes up there on the facade of the south end zone, nobody's going to go, oh, remember they let Pickett wear that number? God, that was disrespectful. No, it's like, oh, did you see Jaden Daniels? He was the first quarterback in the history of the FBS to throw for 350 yards and run for 220 yards in one game. He was the second quarterback in the history of the SEC to throw for 3,500 and run for 1,000. He and Johnny Manziel, the only ones to do it. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. He threw 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter against Texas A&M to cement that trophy. I was in the stadium that night when he made Florida look like a JV squad out there. He was running through them, weaving around. He's leaving a wake like he was on a jet ski out there. Just blue jerseys littered all over the field. That's what they'll remember. Not that DJ Pickett put his jersey on later. If DJ wants to wear it, great. Now, I would think it was awesome if DJ Pickett came out and said, hey, I agreed to wear 5. I didn't really grasp what Jaden Daniels was. And I think that it's great that LSU hasn't, well, I love the number 5, but I'm going to stick with 3. And if he did that, I would think that was great. But I don't think it's bad that DJ Pickett's going, yeah, I want to wear 5. And you know what DJ Pickett can do that would be great? Is put on number 5 and play like an All-American. That would be great. That would be cool. I'm as traditionalist as they come. And you could say, Hunt, why don't you carry that attitude to the alternate jerseys? Why don't you go, nobody's thinking about what color shirt they're wearing. Nobody's thinking about what color helmet they're wearing. Why don't they just go out there and play well? And you would be right. You would be just right in that assertion. I'm perfectly willing for you to have that point of view. I don't. I hate it when they wear the stupid uniforms. But this, I don't hate. I think it's completely fine. I don't think it takes away from Jaden Daniels' legacy at all. And if somebody wants to wear 9 next year, I'll be fine with it. I'll be fine with it. That doesn't mean Joe Burrow didn't go out there and throw 60 touchdowns, 6,000 yards, 15-0. 4th and 17 in Austin. Into Bryant-Denny. Chopped them up. Made Oklahoma quit. Went down to New Orleans against Clemson. Outdueled Trevor Lawrence. Almost start to finish. Won the Heisman. We were in a wasteland of quarterback play. And then there was Joe. And then there was Jaden. And if they want to retire their numbers, I'm for that. They haven't done it yet. DJ Pickett can wear 5. Somebody can wear 9 if they want. That's not going to take away from the legacy. I will say this, and I wrote this at LouisianaSports.net. I do feel like that Jaden lives in Joe's shadow, right? Because Joe did it first and won a championship, and Jaden came right after and then didn't win a championship. And that was not his fault. The defense was the worst in the history of the school. But I do feel like Jaden lives in Joe's shadow a little bit. And if you want to keep stacking reasons why that is, them giving out number 5 and keeping number 9 on the shelf almost lends itself to that as well. But that's overanalyzation. Jaden Daniels is one of the greatest players ever. We did not have enough years of bad quarterback play between Joe and Jaden to make you miss it enough for Jaden to be that impact. We all celebrated Jaden winning the Heisman Trophy. I know I certainly did. I was watching that Washington-Oregon game intently, wanting to make sure that Washington won so Nix didn't win the Heisman. Because I think if Nix wins that game, he wins the Heisman. Because Washington won it, the voters swung it towards Jaden, who had already lost 3 games. But we didn't miss it enough. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? We didn't have enough time to make the heart grow fonder of great quarterback play. We didn't want it bad enough. Jaden just showed up and cooked. And his Heisman year will be underrated by everyone forever. He will be rated towards the bottom of a lot of Heisman Trophy lists for the season he had because LSU didn't win anything and he didn't, have a signature win. They went to Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa and he played great until Dallas Turner blatantly targeted him. Should have been ejected from the game immediately and was not. But they lost the game. Like they didn't have a statement win. Florida wasn't good. A&M wasn't good. It's like you didn't have that great win. Like he played awesome at Ole Miss. They lost. He played awesome at Missouri. It's Missouri. He was hurt in that game too. Incredible against Mississippi State. It's Mississippi State. Like there's no moment. But if you watched him drive in, drive out, snap in, snap out, and just how difficult he was to deal with. It was unbelievable. He led the FBS in passer rating and ran for 1,000 yards. And I think a cool hypothetical conversation that we don't have to have, but a hypothetical conversation that's fun if it's done in the right spirit, very lighthearted, is if you put Jaden on that 19 team, how much more difficult could they be to defend? Because he adds a dimension that Joe didn't quite. Now, I don't want to trade Joe for anybody. I want to be very clear. But it's a different dimension Jaden would have added with the accuracy he had, decision-making he had, and then the elusiveness and running ability that he had. Oh, mercy. If you had to deal with the read option with Clyde and him behind that offensive line that had a bunch of pros, Jets and Chase out there, it's just a nightmare. Like, that would have been incredible. You know what I'd also like to see? Either Joe or Jaden on the 11 team. My guy BT will tell you that. But I'm good if DJ Pickett wants to wear 5. It's cool with me. The second they come out of there in stupid uniforms, I'm going to throw a fit again because it's just the way I'm wired. Maybe you're throwing a fit about this. Maybe you're not about either one. Or maybe you like the alternate uniforms. You're not invited to my birthday party, but maybe you like them. I'm fine with it. Jordan, are we cool if DJ Pickett wants to wear 5?
Yeah, man. I think DJ. Well, look, because number 3 is such a nice number, though.
It is.
So I get it. If he had like a 35, he had an ugly number before, then you want to trim to number 5. But you already had number 3. It's like you're being too greedy, if you ask me. But number 5 is cool, especially if DJ Pickett comes out and kind of fulfills that. Yeah. I guess his prophecy at this point. Like, this guy's been promised.
It's just, the 7 deal where it's like Patrick, the best 7 passed down is Peterson to Matthew. And that's like, oh, well, they're just awesome. So that's cool. But like, nobody's bitching because DJ Pickett was out there intercepting 2 passes against Florida last year in Kevin Falk's number, which should be retired. See? He left LSU as SEC all-time touchdowns leader.
See, when you say it like that, it's like, yeah, see, again, this guy already had a good number. 3 is an elite number. Yeah. So I just think that I don't know how I want to say this because I do feel like there is a place where Jaden Daniels does, deserve a little bit more time to have the 5 on ice a little bit because he did.
There may be a time it's on ice forever. If they do the same thing with Cannon and Burrow. Cannon's the only one that's retired because he won the Heisman. Yeah. They won the Heisman. They may put it on ice forever. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. And, again, if DJ Pickett is an All-American, nobody's going to care. Nobody.
What about the alternate uniforms?
I'm not going to lie, Hunt. That all-white is sick. I love that all-white. I love that. Now, the yellow, we can have a conversation about the yellow. The gold.
Just so offensive.
But the all-white, that is
just hellacious. Georgia's coming out in all-whites this year.
Really?
Somebody said it could be the best uniform ever. It's not.
I can't even imagine that.
The red jerseys with the silver breeches is elite. Between the hedges. Athens, Saturday afternoon, Sanford Stadium, UGA. That's awesome.
You like the black jerseys?
Not all whites. No, I don't like the black jerseys.
Oh my goodness, huh? With the dog collar on it?
Awful.
Oh
terrible.
My God.
Got a 6th grade uniform out there.
Oh,
get rid of it. Classics forever.
The Reds are cool. Don't get me wrong. I like Georgia's color scheme. You can't go wrong with red, black, and white. Yeah, you can't go wrong with
red
that.
And black's good.
That black when the crowd wears the black shirts too.
They did that against Alabama to say early in the Saban era, got beat by 1,000.
Okay, well man.
LSU when we wore the icy whites. We went out there against Tennessee and Hendon Hooker threw for 5,000 yards. Went out there in the icy whites in College Station. Marcel Reed started running all over the place like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Trash. Put on the good uniforms. Let's talk about something else. We'll do it when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. Baton Rouge-based roofing company. But they service the entire state, plus Houston over in the Texas area. Core values, customer service, quality, and integrity. And you're going to get that every single time with Lifetime Roofing. You need that in your roofer because some of us, myself very much included, we don't know if we need a new roof. We don't know if we have roof damage. If you feel like one of those rains comes through and you might have some leakage or you feel like it might be a little bit older, maybe time to get a new roof or you're just not sure, get Lifetime Roofing to come out and inspect it. They'll take a look and they'll tell you what needs to happen. Maybe you're good. Maybe it's not a roof issue. Maybe you need a tune-up, fortify that thing for hurricane season. Maybe you need a repair. They're happy to do it. And if you need a new roof, they've got financing options available, and they will do an amazing job. As of January 1st, a lifetime workmanship warranty from Lifetime Roofing. You can check them out online at LifetimeRoofingLA.com, LifetimeRoofingLA.com.
Ever wonder why cane sauce doesn't come in a pre-sealed packet? It's because it's made fresh inside every Raising Cane's every single day. Because when you make it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name. And people look at us and say, hey, what's special about you guys? You're part of a family.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Third down and 2. Brees throws a comeback to Colston, and Colston scores. Touchdown, Saints.
Just a little snippet. Brees to Colston. Pretty high-profile combination there, the greatest in Saints history. And Drew Brees will go into the Hall of Fame this weekend as a New Orleans Saint. Incredible, incredible honor for one of the best players in the history of the league and the best player in the history of New Orleans' franchise. A cool moment for the city of New Orleans, state of Louisiana, as Drew enshrined forever in Canton. And he met with the media a little bit earlier on and just had a lot to say about the course of his time in New Orleans and what this last couple of months has been like. And he talked about, the situation. Jordan, I think I may have given you the wrong number, so I want to make sure we're right on all this. But that was the touchdown, so that would have been 2. I want to do Brees number 1 here, what he's most looking forward to this weekend.
You work so hard and stress so much leading up to the moment to make sure that it's right for everybody who's coming here to be a part of this celebration with you. The way I really look at it is this is my opportunity to convey my appreciation and gratitude to so many of the people, the places that were a part of this journey. And that's what I'm most looking forward to, is all the people I'm going to have a chance to see and appreciate and let them know just how valued they are.
And it was a long journey for Drew. He comes from Austin, wanted badly to play at Texas A&M. They didn't offer him, so he has to go up to Purdue. But he plays brilliantly at Purdue, leads them to the Rose Bowl, and then goes to San Diego and gets hurt. They decide they're going to go a different direction, so he hits free agency on an injury. You all know the story, but he ends up in New Orleans. That's a long and winding journey from not getting to the college you want to, going away from home and taking a downtrodden program to new heights, and then getting an opportunity with a new organization in the NFL with San Diego at the time, and then them deciding, well, we're going to go a different direction. That's not the path that most Hall of Famers take, but he certainly did, and he reached every goal every step of the way, and he talked about that.
I went to a high school program that was a very well-known high school program in the state of Texas, but we had never won a state championship. And I remember we had a special group of seniors, and we said, let's be the first ones to go win a state championship for our high school. And sure enough, we were able to do that. I show up at Purdue University. We're dead last in the Big Ten my freshman year as far as a recruiting class. And we all look at each other and say, by the time we leave here, we're going to be Big Ten champs. And we were. Right? Show up in San Diego, and we were 1-15 the year before. They had the first pick in the draft, and they draft LaDainian Tomlinson. They bring me in the second round, and we look at each other and said, by the time we leave here, we're going to be champs. 3 years later, we're division champs. You know, you get to New Orleans. New Orleans coming off Katrina, had never had a ton of success, and let's win one for this city, and when we win one. So I don't know, I guess just every step of the way, it's always been there's a new set of challenges, there's a new goal, and yet that mindset of belief and confidence, and developing trust and chemistry and camaraderie with the guys around you, and then just feeling like you can do anything together. That's what it's all about.
I just always got the sense that Drew Brees was trying to do whatever it took possible to win. And that takes a special mindset. You got to really, really love it and really grind and want to do it. And he did. And he talked about where that competitive mentality comes from.
I came from a very competitive family background. I had a lot of athletes in my family going back to my grandparents. I also came from a military background from that perspective, in that I had grandparents and family members who served in our military. And so I think there was always this feeling of service, of sacrifice, of being a part of something greater than yourself, being a great member of a team, being a great teammate, but also just this love of sports and competition. And so you combine all those things together. I was a kid who just could not get enough of playing ball. Whatever it was, you name the sport, I wanted to play it. And so as I look at my childhood, it was nothing but being in competitive situations with teammates that I loved to be around. And inevitably, you find yourself in situations where, maybe you're outmatched and you're kind of having to figure it out, and you're having to overcome adversity, and you learn so much from that. Like that sharpens you, but it also gives you a belief and a confidence that no matter what, with the right people and with the right mindset, you can find a way.
He was a special competitor, no question about that, and he brought a special era to New Orleans. He mentioned that military background that I was unaware of. But I'll tell you this, and I'm guessing most of you are in my boat on this. You have seen Drew Brees lead that pregame chant 100 times, and you still aren't quite sure how it goes, right? The 1, 2 for you, 3, it's very complicated to me, and I've seen him do it 100 times. But he talked about where that came from, and it ties into the military attachment that he has.
Getting up early in the morning in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and doing PT with the Marines, and that's where a lot of the inspiration for some of our pregame chants came from. In fact, the one that everybody's probably most familiar with, the 1, 2, win for you, 3, 4, win some more, that was truly birthed from PT with the Marines at Guantanamo Bay. Early in the morning, running, sweating, and they're just barking out those cadence, and I'm just sitting there thinking in my mind, I am taking this back to my team. And sure enough, we go and win the Super Bowl that year, and so that one will live forever.
That one will. There are so many aspects of the Drew Brees era in New Orleans that are indelible, that you will remember for a very, very, very long time. And that chant is, and it's not one that you're going to replicate with anybody else, and it's not one that anybody else could probably do in earnest. That's a Drew Brees thing that he brought in, and it was uniquely his. It was uniquely the Saints, and it's something that obviously was a big part of his legacy. There were so many unbelievable moments in the Brees era. The Super Bowl is the top, because that's the pinnacle of sports. But there were so many others with primetime games that the Saints were just unbeatable in that dome. There were great playoff wins. Unfortunately, there were heartbreaking playoff losses as well. There were record-setting nights. There were amazing comebacks and incredible moments in division championships and all of that. But beyond the Super Bowl, the dome coming is memory number one. And for some people, it's more important, because the city is more important than winning a championship. And the dome coming represented New Orleans being back together in the city, downtown New Orleans in the dome. And of course, the famous moment from that is Steve Gleason's block punt. And that was something that Drew Brees was asked about in Canton, and gave his view from the sidelines of that.
What's funny is if you ever just put a camera on me or watched me while the other team was punting, I was always at the other end of the field because, we're waiting for the punt to come down to our end. And I was always kind of like stretching and just getting my mind right. And especially in that moment because that was our first game ever in the Superdome for many of us. And obviously just the gravity of the moment. It's Monday Night Football. We're undefeated. We're playing against the Falcons. They were the division winner the year before. They're a great team. And so you're just trying to block out, a lot of what would be perceived as pressure and just focus on your job and focus on the moment. And I just kind of glanced down and just all of a sudden there's this, what sounded like a shotgun blast, as Gleason was blocking that punt and the ball hitting his hands. And just the eruption of the crowd. It was as if the roof was going to blow off the dome. Then the feeling of what that represented, it was, I think it was a message to the country, to the world, to everybody that, New Orleans was going to come back stronger than ever, and that we as a team were a representation, of our city. And I'd say, next to the Super Bowl, the greatest moment in the history of Saints football.
You know what I was thinking about as I'm listening to Drew Brees talk about that? And this is not a rehearsed radio bit thing. It's just what was going through my mind when I'm hearing him talk about that. I wasn't in the Dome that night. I think there are probably a lot of people listening that were. A lot of you listening that were watching that night. And I think about the emotions that come out when something like that happens. When you block a punt for a touchdown, or you win a huge game, or you score a huge touchdown, or you hit a home run, walk-off home run, or you hit that buzzer beater in basketball, or whatever the case may be. And I think about the emotion that stirs up, because there are Saints fans that can watch that dome-coming punt block and still well up because of what was going on in their life at that time, and they can put themselves back in the place they were in when Steve Gleason blocked that punt and when the Saints won that game on Monday Night Football and the return to New Orleans for the Saints. And I think about people that don't care at all about sports, that don't even know what's going on, that just like to cook, or they like to fix cars, or they like art, and there's nothing wrong with any of that whatsoever. Do what you want to do. Run your race. But I think about the emotions that sports can conjure. And I wonder how people that don't live in the world that I live in, where sports is such a big deal, how they get that rush, how they get that emotional outlet. It's just, that's what I was thinking, because if you're a sports fan for long enough, no matter who you're a fan of, you get a moment. If you're lucky, you get a lot of them. And oftentimes, you're around family when they happen. It's just the nature of it. Your family, sometimes you watch games by yourself, but your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister or your best buddies are around, or whoever you're watching with. A lot of times we're sharing that moment. And that's the special thing about sports, that we sit there and break down practices, and we sit there and we talk about old memories, and we sit there and break down statistics and talk about matchups. But ultimately, this thing boils down to the emotional investment that we have. That's what it is at its core. We expound upon that with this job, but that's one of the most emotional moments in NFL history, and it happened with the team that we follow and the team that most of y'all love. And the emotions of that are just incredibly special. And that's what it made me think of when Drew was talking about that moment. And I think for a lot of Saints fans, this weekend will be a time where you can reflect on that era, on that game, on the Super Bowl, on the excitement you had every Sunday to wake up and watch Drew Brees play quarterback for the Saints, because you knew no matter what their record was, no matter what the opponent was, no matter where the game was or what time, you had a pretty damn good chance to win that game because 9 had the ball. And that was the beginning of that at the Dome coming with the Saints beating the Falcons. I don't know where that came from, but it's just what I started thinking about when Brees started talking. You with me, Jordan?
I think that this is a good nostalgia factor going on, especially at the end of summertime, where we're finally getting back into football, and we get this time to really sit back and think about all the good times that football really brings, especially what Drew Brees has brought us. And I think that at the end of the day, these are some of the greatest memories in Saints history. And that's kind of sad that this little span of Drew Brees' career has all these great moments in Saints history that we'd have nothing else really. Like, you know,
you got the Dome Patrol. You got
but it's
Archie.
like-
Oz Hakeem dropped the punt. You got a few things.
But other than that, it's like Drew Brees.
You got Tom Dempsey kicking it from miles
and,
out
and black and white
with the half a foot.
Yeah, like, man, it's like I'm so upset that the Saints were so bad for so long that this is it. Like, this is the pinnacle of history.
But hey, what did I say about the LSU with Jaden? That
Yes.
we didn't have enough time between Joe and Jaden to properly appreciate Jaden.
Yes.
You had a little bit of that Derek Carr kind of stirring up the emotions.
I love Drew Brees.
And so now you're like, all right, we want it back now.
Yes.
We know, we got it. We want it back now. So maybe that's where we are.
But it really goes to show you how Drew captured this city.
Yeah.
And how Derek Carr just failed to do that. No, I'm putting Drew Brees and Derek Carr in the same sentence. I'm surprised lightning didn't come through the studio and strike me down right now. But it's just like Drew Brees did everything right what you want out of a starting caliber quarterback, and he spoiled us. So when you get a guy like Derek Carr, you can point out a phony.
But did Drew Brees do Carr YouTube video reviews?
I'm going to be real, Hunt. I actually will watch a Drew Brees Carr review video. Like, just because how much love I have for Drew Brees. Matter of fact,
how many of those did they make? I mean, I watched the first one. Did they do multiple? Were there a bunch?
We got
Are they
YouTube.
still doing them?
We got internet right now. I'm going on YouTube right now. I'm about to find this out. The Carr Bros. Let's see what the Carr Bros have been up to.
The Carr Bros reviewing Mustangs, reviewing hot rods, reviewing Porsches.
Here we go. Let's see. Derek Carr, homegrown with David and Derek Carr. Their last video they made was actually 1 hour ago. No, they're actually consistent. Hold up.
Okay,
they're
the Carr's
consistent.
on YouTube,
yeah,
baby.
He's actually
Saints
a YouTuber.
Fans, check that. Do not watch Drew Brees go into the Hall of Fame. Check out Derek Carr's YouTube channel.
Whoa.
If you're looking for a review of a Fabry Chevrolet GMC.
I need to go knock on wood or something before you step out the building, Hunt. That's crazy.
Come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
I'll tell you where you won't find the Carr Bros. That's at Marucci. If you want to be in a car-free environment, a Derek Carr-free environment, you can go to Marucci. Check out where they make the official bat of Major League Baseball right here in Baton Rouge, $1,200 a day. Take a tour. See where they carve those bats, mold those bats, stain those bats, ship them off to the best players in the world. Learn the story, how Marucci went from a backyard shed to the official bat of Major League Baseball. What a cool thing that we have here in Baton Rouge. If you want to work on your game now that kind of getting into football season, baseball maybe winding down from a summer perspective, but you want to keep that youth baseball player, youth softball player in your house busy from a baseball, softball perspective, get in the Hitter's House. You get a membership, bring that key card in, access 24/7 to the cages over there at Marucci. You can get tickets to the campus tour right there at MarucciSports.com. It's MarucciSports.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Are you ready for an internet experience that actually keeps up with you? Then you're ready to step into a new kind of reliability with Rev Fiber. When your internet works, the possibilities open up, and suddenly everything feels more connected, just the way it should be. Seamless enough to keep up with every swipe and every click, anywhere you are. So leave the buffering behind. 100% fiber, 0% runaround, where support is still personal. Rev Fiber. Visit revfiber.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Always brought to you by Corks every single Friday. Check out the menu, corksfishandshrimp.com. Government between Foster and Jefferson. Fantastic jumbo Gulf shrimp, crispy fried catfish. Get the po' boy. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. If the next time, maybe it's not today, next time you're thinking, I really need a po' boy, check out Corks. They got the best one in the city. Right there, Government between Foster and Jefferson. Menus online at corksfishandshrimp.com. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so we got some news today. Offensive lineman Cole Hudson, following minicamp participation with the Browns and Cowboys, has returned to the Texas Longhorns after regaining a fifth-year eligibility. So, last week, Cheryl Sweeney granted players, the 2022 class to come back to college sports. So now we have NFL players leaving minicamp to go back to college. So NFL players going back to college, take it or leave it.
I mean, can I be honest? I'm torn.
Yes.
I'm torn. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
In this instance, this is not going to be a recurring problem, I don't think.
Shouldn't be.
Because you get 5 years.
Yeah, 5 and out.
And I think now this is the 1 year where there's confusion.
Yeah.
You got that court injunction, but now moving forward, there's not. Here's the deal. Once we now move on to next year, you put pen to paper with a professional team in the NBA or the major leagues or the NFL, that's it.
Yep.
You don't have to. You got 5 years. Go after 5 if you want. But after 4 or 3, if you jump, burn the boats. I think that's where I am.
Yep.
And I think that's reasonable. You don't have to leave early. It's lucrative to play in college. I get it. It's hard to make an NFL roster. I get it. But when you go, you got to go.
Exactly, man. Having that is just muddying the waters too much. So Akron football suites are sold out for the first time in program history.
Oh, my God.
Following its viral play calling promotion for season ticket holders. So will more small schools follow this trend? Take it or leave it?
I'm going to leave it. It's a little bit of a gimmick. But I did hear Big Cat from Barstool.
Oh, that's going to amp it up.
He talked about he bought 8 season tickets. Do you know what a season ticket for Akron? I'm imagining that's probably 6 home games. They probably play 1 or 2 away at Ohio State or whatever.
Yeah.
So they probably don't have as
money
many.
Game.
Yeah, so probably 6 home games. What do you think that costs for season tickets?
Not much. It's Akron football, probably $60.
$75.
Okay, I was close. 60.
Just over $10 a game.
Okay, that's about Akron football. That's not too crazy.
Man, you think about how hard it is to make money selling season tickets for $75.
Yeah.
That's a tough scene.
But think about it, Hunt. Who's coming to cold Akron football?
Not me. I'm not going to see the Zips play.
Exactly.
It's not happening.
All right, so a father in China has filed a $1.50 lawsuit against 4 major gaming companies after claiming their anti-addiction systems failed to stop his son from playing the game excessively. So suing because your son can't stop playing the video game. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave that one.
Leave it alone.
Here's the deal. There's stuff out there that you can get addicted to.
A lot of
stuff.
stuff.
It's out there. If you get addicted to it, I'm probably going to blame you. Now, you got to get help, but I'm not suing anybody because you did something too much. Can we make a deal?
Yeah, especially about a video game. And it's like, you don't have to play the game.
And look, there's help available. We can make that happen. But I'm not suing people because you did something that was completely under your control at the beginning.
For $1.50. So
$1.50.
That's it for take it or leave it.
All right, Jordan, here's the deal.
Yes.
I'm going to swing by, make one stop on the way home. Once I arrive home, wife's headed to the Gulf Coast with her friends.
Oh, my goodness.
Me and the two boys for the weekend.
All right. Pizza.
We got to figure something out.
Pizza.
You know, in the movie Old School, where Will Ferrell shoots himself in the jugular with a tranquilizer?
Yes, and you're like,
I need that for Keller. I need that for the young one. We just got to get the tranquilizer out. Boom. Got to knock him out.
Well, you can't do that.
My guy, we had to rename him Dennis. Dennis the Menace. He's everywhere. He's open in every drawer. He's everything. Earlier today, took a measuring cup, threw it in the toilet.
Oh, no. No, you got to figure something out. I will say pizza. You know what? Brussels sprouts. We ain't eating pizza.
We need
Brussels sprouts.
We need good naps. We need good sleeping through the night.
Good movies, TV.
And we need scotch. These are the three necessities. Sleep, scotch, and a tranquilizer gun. That's what I need. Full report on Hunt's boys weekend on Monday's show, plus a little LSU football and Saints training camp. Matt's going to drive it home next on After Further Review. Everybody have a great and safe weekend. We're back Monday. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. In August, all August long, it is time to get by Fabry Chevrolet GMC and get a truck because the deals they've got on these new ones are phenomenal. For the 2026 Chevy Silverados, you're talking about 0% APR financing for 5 years plus no monthly payment for 90 days. That's 3 months, no payments if you go by between now and August 31st. 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s, that's 2.9 APR for 72 months, plus an additional $1,500 in allowance. That is now until August 31st. But it may not just be new cars. Need a new truck? Absolutely. But if you want a pre-owned vehicle, they've got an incredible selection of pre-owned vehicles that'll fit any budget. All you got to do is check that selection out at FabryChevrolet.com. Sort by pre-owned. You can even put make and model in. You can sort by your price or your mileage. It's all right there at FabryChevrolet.com. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Again, they're online at FabryChevrolet.com.